Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining. I can see some of you are still connecting to audio, so hopefully you're all able to jump on okay. Thanks so much for joining us. I just wanted to notify you all that we are recording this session, so if you need to pop out or if your connection does something dodgy or whatever, you will get a recording of our session after, so you can watch it back. Welcome, thanks for being here, and I would like to today acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we're all dialing in from and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Big welcome to Julie and Jess from Tocal Ag College, who are here to deliver the session to us today. Thanks girls for coming, really looking forward to it. We've been waiting a long time for this one. So please make sure you take advantage of their expertise while they are here. They're pretty experienced with making videos. They've done quite a few, so I know you'll probably get a lot out of the session. I also wanted to say a big thanks to the Limestone Coast Landscape Board, who are funding the delivery of all these workshops. So make sure you give them a shout out and let them know that you really enjoyed the sessions. And hopefully we can run more of similar sessions to this, because I know that they're really useful for you guys that are on here today. So one thing that we didn't advertise, because we wanted to make sure that you turned up for the right reasons, is that as part of attending the workshop, we're actually going to give you guys a microphone and a tripod. So we only have a limited amount of funding available for these microphones and tripods. So it is first in, best dressed. If you would like to receive a free microphone and tripod, you need to email me, please, just with a reminder that you're interested, and we will put you on the list. And yeah, as I said, first in, best dressed. And we'll organise to get them through to you on post or in person next time we see you. Just a quick notification. I know that some people's internet, including mine, is not very good. I have connected with my phone. Hopefully, even if my video freezes, you will still be able to hear me. We've also got Anna Eddy here and Megan Skier here from the Killet Group to take over if I totally drop off, or vice versa. So hopefully, best of luck to all of us, and hope, fingers crossed, for good internet connections. So enough from me. I would really love you all to go around and introduce yourselves. So name, where you're from, and what organisation you work for, please. And I am going to ask Anna to go first for us.
No worries, Meg. I'm Anna Eddy, and I live at Lucendale, and I work for the McKillop Group. Yeah.
Thanks, Anna. Tim Prance, please.
Okay, yeah, Tim Prance. I'm an agricultural consultant. I actually live at Victor Harbour, but I work a fair bit in the southeast, and I'm also a member of the Grassland Society, and we do a fair bit of video work from time to time, rather amateurish. So it'd be really great to get some good information there.
Thanks, Tim. Paris.
Sorry, unmute myself. I'm Paris Bell. I live near Penola. I work for the Grassland Society of Southern Australia.
Thanks, Paris. Danielle.
I'm Danielle. I work for 141 Plantations, so in forestry. And yeah, I just thought it'd be a good way of getting, like you said in your thing, getting complex information out to people. A lot of people don't really understand what happens.
Thanks, Danielle. Katrina.
Hi everyone, Katrina Copping. I'm from Avenue Range and I'm the Executive Officer for Lucent Australia.
Thanks, Kat. Over to you, Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire. I work for the Department of Primary Industries and Regions, and I'm based at Struan, and my internet connection keeps dropping in and out. Sorry if you already asked me to introduce myself before now.
All good. Thanks, Claire. Steve. Steve, we might have lost you. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, Stephen Dukowskis. I live in Mount Gambier. I consult with Pioneer Seeds, and yeah, I just thought it'd be good to learn how to YouTube because I don't know how. And before I go, I have a question. How come Danielle is in an aeroplane?
She does look like she's in an aeroplane. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, I'm using a different
Kim,
background.
Kim, are you able to unmute yourself and give us a hello? I know you've written in the chat, but it'd be great to hear your voice if you can. That may be a no. Anyway, we'll hope you might be able to do so further into the workshop. Elke, I'll go to you, please. If you could introduce yourself to us, name, where you're from, and who you work for.
Yeah, hi, Elke Hocking. I think I know a fair few of you online, a couple not, but yeah, most of you. Yeah, Elke Hocking Consulting, so private consultant based in the southeast of South Australia, also a beef and lamb producer as well. So, yep.
Thank you, Elke. And lucky last, we've got James Hall. James is actually from the Limestone Coast Landscape Board, who have kindly funded this workshop, which I mentioned at the start. Welcome, James. Thanks for being here. James is just new to the Landscape Board. This is the first time we're meeting him, and probably likely most of you as well. So hello, welcome. And are you able to introduce yourself for us, please?
Yes, so thank you for that. Yeah, so James Hall, Limestone Coast Landscape Board. I'm in the Adaptive Agriculture program, which is part of the Sustainable Agriculture program. And yeah, we're happy to be supporting this event through one of our Adaptive Agriculture grants.
Thank you very much, James. And again, thanks to the Landscape Board for funding us for the workshop. So without further ado, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. I'm going to hand over to Julie and Jess. Just a reminder that Julie and Jess will not be taking questions whilst they're talking. So make a note of any questions that you have, and we're going to break for questions about halfway through. If you'd like to, you can pop your questions in the chat as we're going, and we will go through those at the time of the break. Otherwise, pop them down on a piece of paper next to you at your desk or something. Julie and Jess, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And yes, my name's Julie White, and I am coming to you from the Hunter Valley in New South Wales. And as Meg mentioned at the beginning, we are from an agricultural college in New South Wales. So I'll talk a little bit about us first, so you can see where we're coming from and what we're sharing with you today. And thank you for the opportunity to share some of our learnings with you over the years that we've been involved in making movies. So we've called it Paddock to YouTube because we're focusing on being able to catch video right there and then at that moment when you think you've seen something or you've observed something or you're speaking to someone and you think that would be great just to capture that exact thing they're talking about right now. So we're going to focus on using your phone to get that video on the spot. So Tokau College is an agricultural college that's based in the Hunter Valley. We've been operating since 1965, and we deliver training in agriculture and land management and horse breeding. We also do bee training now, Certificate 3 in beekeeping. So we are on a commercially operating farm here in the Hunter and deliver training to, we have about 110 full-time students who come and live on campus and are here with us for about 12 months. But we also deliver training across the state. We train about 4,000 people a year across the state in all kinds of agriculturally related topic areas. And we also have a digital delivery focus as well. So we have an extensive online learning platform where we deliver training through both blended and entirely online as well. So I guess we have for many years now seen that there's a very real place for video in the delivery of the work that we do. So we have focused on that, which is what we're going to share with you today. So just to step you through what we're going to do this afternoon. So I'm going to talk a bit about why you should use video in the first place, and show you some of the ways that we use it, and then get you thinking about the steps to prepare to shoot, so that when you go to do it, you're optimizing your results from that, the time that you invest in doing that video shooting. Then I will hand to my colleague Jess, who's going to talk to you about getting yourself and your gear ready. What gear do you need? That sort of thing. So step you through that process of actually getting right before you're ready to go. What do you need? And we're thinking through a few things there. When we get to the end of that, we're hoping that that part will take about an hour. When we get to the end of that, we're actually going to ask you to go out and do it. So we figure the best way for people to learn to do something is to hear about it first and then have a go. So we actually want you to, we've allowed half an hour, which is also your toilet break, your coffee break, your drink break. And we want you to go preferably outside, unless of course it's raining where you are, like it is for me today. But preferably we want you to go outside, because we want you to experience some of the elements that you've got to take into account when you're trying to capture video in the paddock. So we'll get you to go out, do some shooting, come back. If any of you are technically capable of sharing it, we will do that. But if you're not, we'll just talk about it. So the idea is that you come back and say, oh, this didn't work, or that didn't work, or just talk through how you went, what issues did you have, so that we can address some of those for you. And then Jess will finish off by giving a quick overview of how to get it off your phone. So you've now got this video you're really happy with. How are you going to get it off your phone and where you want it? And she'll show you some of the basic principles of editing. We'll try to allow plenty of time in there for you to ask questions and things as well. And then we'll wrap up and have a QA session at the end. So to kick off, I think we all know the basics of why video is good. It's because you can really put some emphasis in what you're communicating, where you want to put it, and you can make it interesting and engaging. You can show people how to do things. So it's a great way, for example, if you had a research trial and you'd found something significant and you wanted to actually show people the roots of a plant, or show people the head of a wheat and what's happened to that as a result of the trial, you can actually demonstrate that. Or you can take it a step further and actually show someone how to do something. So step people through a process. It's easy to capture. So I think we'd all agree that most of us have a phone within reach 99% of the time these days. And most cases, even a cracked, beat up phone like mine, the quality of the cameras that we have in our phones now mean that you are going to get a good result. So it's a great way to keep your content up to date, and a great way to have to quickly create content as well. So, but probably most importantly, it's an extremely popular digital medium. And to demonstrate that for you, here's some stats for YouTube, for social media. So that's worldwide. So you can see there that YouTube is second on that list, just after Facebook. Then you have this one here. You can see this is the ranking of top websites based on total traffic volume in Australia. So this is now looking just at Australia. The previous one was worldwide. This is now looking just at Australia. And you can see here that YouTube is second after Google. So that means we have a whole portion of the population in Australia who go straight to YouTube to find what they're looking for, and they search there. So where some of us search in Google, we've got a whole portion of the population that goes and searches straight in YouTube. So if you have your content in that platform, you are automatically going to where the people are. So the people are already there. And if you're putting your business or your message in front of those people in those environments, you're increasing your reach. So this is about that principle of going where people already are. And this one I really like. Sorry, you've got to bear with me. I'm a stats person. Again, this is from Australia. So this one is percentage of internet users aged 16 to 24 that can consume each kind of content via the internet each month. So 88.1% of us are watching online videos. So that is a big portion of people. And sure, a whole lot of that is people streaming TV shows or keeping their kids entertained in their prams while they're shopping. But what that still tells you is that people are using their devices and the internet and all sorts of ways to watch online content. So they like to absorb information in that way, is what that figure is also telling you. So it's a very useful piece of digital media. So here's another important reason for it, and that is it's about video content helps you to increase your digital presence. Could I just get people to use the raise your hand function, which now I'm saying that I can't see. Meg, it's there handy somewhere, is it? The raise your hand function?
Yeah, it is. So you should be able to click on the 3 dots.
I can see Jess, yeah.
Yeah, 3 dots and put the little emoji up, or you can go into the participant screen and you can raise your hand next to your own name in the participant screen.
Great. So just if you could put your hand up if you've heard this term, digital presence. Yep, okay. So a few of you have, which is great. Hopefully you also understand what it means. That's great, everybody has, that's excellent. So what we mean by that is it's about how you want to present yourself in this online world that we now operate in. So how would you like to appear online and what do you represent? So here at the college, if you looked at our website and our Facebook page, you would see that we're really trying to communicate that we are in the agriculture sector, that we work with practical training. So you'll see there's lots of images of people doing things on tractors, using machinery and equipment out in the paddock with livestock on horses. So we're trying to, through that digital presence, convey what we are about, what our business is about. So we use a range of ages and people, locations and that sort of thing. And it's also, in that digital presence, you also talk about things that are not just to do with your business. So you're building other things that you are interested in or in support of to build that sense of who you are and what you represent. So video is a really important contributor to that because you sitting here listening to me today is very different to if you were just reading something I'd written. So you get a sense of the person through the video and you can put emphasis on things through the way that you communicate things as well. So here's our college YouTube stats from last year. And you can see with the green arrows that we had a big increase last year. And of course, that was because of COVID.
Have we lost Julie or is it just my end?
Yeah,
My end too.
No, I've lost it as well.
Yeah, the curse of COVID.
The curse of COVID, huh? Jess, are you able to take over while Julie hooks back in? Oh no, we've got her back.
Sorry?
Julie, we lost you for a minute.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
The last word
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, are we right now?
The last word that we heard was COVID.
Oh, okay.
We're
Sorry, I'm talking away.
Might be something to do with the word.
Yes, Julie. It's infected my computer or our internet connection. So what I was saying was that you can see from the green arrows that our YouTube stats went up drastically last year. And that was, of course, we needed to move a lot of our students online. and create a lot of videos to help with that online learning. So, but what you can see there is there's a significant reach. So you're reaching a significant number of people if you can engage them in that video space. Okay, so hopefully you're all still hearing me. This is how we at Tokau College use videos, just to give you an idea of the range of ways that you can use it. So we use it through the delivery of training and assessment, both online and face-to-face students. We show how to do things. We get students to show us they can do things. So we get them to film themselves doing things as part of their assessment process. We use them for case studies as well. We use it quite a bit that way to so they can hear directly from people that have applied the knowledge. We use it for awareness and engagement with our target audience, just to talk about the things that are going on here and to build that sense of who we are. We use it for marketing purposes, extension, so to communicate outcomes from our farming enterprises that we have here, which includes dairy, beef, cattle, horses, sheep, chickens, and we use it for induction purposes as well. So it's a great way to address some of your safety requirements as well. So here's some examples. This is our website banner, and if you went to this, you would see that red tractor in the corner there, which is one of our favourite pieces of, we do love our tractors here. It's actually a video, and as that page loads, that tractor gets closer and closer to you. So that's just a little example of how you can very easily make something a little bit more interesting by adding a very short video clip to it. So that's the web page. And I'll have to refer to Jess to know how we took that one. I can't remember, but
yeah, actually we got professionals to do that one.
That was a professional, yeah, okay. Yeah. So this is Jess took this one. This is one of our bee trainers, and last year again, because of the COVID environment, we have a beekeeper field day that we run every year here. We get about 1,000 people to it. And last year we had to take it online. So we pre-recorded some of the presentations, and this is one of the pre-recorded examples. We also breed Australian stock horses here. So each year we sell those horses. And of course, again, last year we had to do that as an online auction. And regardless, even before we went to an online auction, we always did a video of students, one of our students there, demonstrating the horse, so that the buyers can check the horses out prior to getting here. And what they use there with that one is a camera that follows the horse, so it follows the horse around the arena there. And as you can see, an arena does create some challenges in taking a video, because it's very light. It's either very light inside and dark outside, or very dark inside and light outside. So they actually film these at night to try and offset that drastic change between inside and outside. Promotion, incredibly useful way to use videos. It gives an authenticity to what you're trying to promote. And in this case, this is our drone trainer. We deliver quite a lot of training and introduction to drones in agriculture. He's standing there, he's with a drone, he's in a paddock, and he goes on to a 40-second clip talking about what he covers in the training. So it's one of the best ways we can promote our products is to have the people who you will meet when you come to do that product standing in the right context talking about it. So that video was done on a phone. I think Ben may have actually just leaned that up on the back of his ute, on the toolboxes that he has on the back of his ute. So very quick, easy to produce, minimal editing involved, and you have yourself a nice promotional video. This is one of our biosecurity beekeeper here. demonstrating how to inspect a hive. He filmed this himself. It's on his phone on a tripod, and he filmed the entire thing himself. Just by having the right equipment and the right setup. So this is showing someone how to do something. So he's showing people how to inspect a hive. And this is a video that is from our online diploma. And in this one, we're showing how to conduct a soil texture test. And the students actually then have to go and do it. So this is demonstrating so that someone can follow those instructions. It's supported by some other written instructions that go with it, but it's designed for the people to be able to then go off and do that subsequently. And testimonials. So this young guy had just finished the drones course. So we said to him, can we just talk to you about how you found that? Lucky for us, he was very articulate, happy to do it, didn't get nervous. We were able to just get him to stand in a corner in front of the corrugated iron with a bit of machinery in the background. So you've immediately got the right context in this so that people can relate to that if you're trying to connect with people from the farming community. And he speaks for 1 minute. This did require some editing, but nothing too substantial. And you've got real-time feedback about what you're doing as well, and that you can share with other people. So you can easily share this with stakeholders, investors, other people that are interested in what the outcomes from things are. So video is a really good way to also communicate results from different things too. And finally, this Tocal, here for probably the last couple of years, we've been experimenting with 360-degree videos, mainly for our schools program to come up with a package of videos that schools can use with resources that go with them to help people have a better understanding of food and fibre is what this is, and where our food and fibre comes from. So we use these 3D videos with the goggles that are you can see in those photos. And as you can see from the photos, it's a range of ages that we had interested in this, and it was really amazing to watch how immersive this experience actually was. So one of the things that we have a 360-degree video is of opening a hive. So you feel like you're opening the hive, and out come all the bees. So next thing, you've got people waving their arms around and trying to swat away all these bees. We had people trying to pat horses. There is one part of it as well where it's a drone footage, so you're flying over the property. That really freaked one person out because they were scared of heights. So it's an interesting space. It's being used a lot more and more, and we now have 360-degree videos of just about the entire farm here. It has its pros and cons, like any piece of technology, but this was a very cheap way to create an engagement tool at a field day, which is what was going on now. So you've thought about what you've decided you want to do some video. You've thought about what context you want to use it in. So now you need to think about a few more things. So you've decided you're going to go and do one. So you just need to think through a few steps in order to maximize the result that you're going to get at the end of the time you invest in taking this video. So whether you take a video with your phone and you do no editing, you're still investing your time and effort in doing that. So you want to make sure you're getting as close as you can to the outcome that you're after. So think about why you're taking the video. Who is your target audience? So what is the purpose of the message? And what is the best way to communicate that to reach that target audience? So have that clearly in mind. And Jess would attest to this. We're regularly asked by different people, can you come and video this for us? We're out the back here. We're going to be out there for the whole day. And we'll say, well, why? What are you going to do with it? So if you end up with an hour of video footage, you need to have a good reason to do that, because that's time and effort, and otherwise you'll just end up with multitudes of video and no real purpose for them. So make sure you've got a purpose. Think about your audience and what your key message is. And most short videos, like that 3 to 5 minute time frame videos, you can get across 3 key points at the most. So have thought about that as well. What are your 3 key points? Then you need to decide who's going to be your subject matter expert in this video, where you're going to shoot it, when, and what. So are you going to get them to demonstrate something? Are you going to have props, or is this a talking head? You know, just think about all of those different pieces, because that will affect how you go about shooting it. Then you need to think about where am I going to put this? So am I doing this for Instagram or Facebook, or is it going on YouTube? Or am I, you know, in our case, we'll be thinking about how are we building this into different training products. So have a think about where you're going to put it, because again, that affects what you actually will do next. So how you'll shoot it, how long it will be, things like that. And this next point is a really important one. How much editing do I want to do? Now, I became a bit of an expert a few years ago when I was running and first got involved in Extension Oz, which is an online platform for delivering extension. And I was running a crop nutrition community of practice. I got very good at taking video, one take videos basically that required little or no editing. And maybe that's because I'm lazy, or maybe it's because I'm time poor. But depending on what you're shooting, there are lots of circumstances where you can get a video that basically just needs top and tailing, and you have a piece of content ready to publish. So now for me, in the context of Extension Oz, we were publishing an article a week. So it was actually that we needed to do it quickly, which was why we always aimed to shoot once and well, and require minimal editing, titles and chopping off the front and the end, and that was it. So think about that, because that also affects what you film afterwards, and Jess will talk about that in a bit more detail. And you also need to be across what the accessibility requirements are once you've published that video as well. But again, Jess will talk about that in a bit more detail. So I have just given you an introduction to videos, how you can use them, why you would want to use them, and what to think about before you leave your cozy room and go off to shoot something. So that's the planning stage that we've looked at there. And you do need to do some planning, and it might be 10-minute planning, it might be a day's planning, depending on what it is that you are going to do next. So I will now hand to Jess, who will talk you through preparing to actually head out into the field and take your video.
And I'm unmuted. Great, I'm ready to go. Hello, yeah, so I'm Jess. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for coming. I've worked at Tocal since 2014, and I started out actually as a print publication designer. I'm a graphic designer, that's my background, and I've just kept adding different skills to that. So I make ebooks, I do most of our social media for the college, I design our branding and promotional paraphernalia, like the banner behind Julie there. I make different kinds of videos now, so both filming them on the phone or whatever, or building little infographic animated ones. Always thinking about how our readers or our viewers or our visitors or our customers or our students understand what Tocal is, what we offer, and or what a course is about, basically. So, but in terms of making video, I'm still basically an amateur. I think the vast majority of video out there is now made by amateurs. I have an iPhone, I have a couple, but this is my good one. And I've got a few tips from Julie when I started out, and then I just taught myself more along the way. So at the end of the day, it's not about making amazing video. This sort of video is just about capturing the content in the moment, because humans like to learn from other humans. So neither me nor Julia. Julie is a professional videographer, and this webinar today is just what we've learned from having a go on different things at Tocal or other projects. We all will start from somewhere and get better. So what we do when we're amateurs learning as we go is we review our own work and we continuously improve. So we've got to look at our work, our own videos that we film, and ask, is there anything in this video that I could have improved? Was I stiff or nervous? Was the camera wobbling around too much? Were there any technical issues with the sound or anything like that? And some issues are fixed by improving your skill, better knowledge of using your phone, more practice. Some issues are fixed by buying better tools. So this webinar today, we aim to give you some ideas in both of those areas, both skills and tools. And then after this webinar, just get out there and have a go. We want you to experiment, play with features like slow motion and time lapse, practice smoothly changing from the selfie camera to the back camera in the middle of the video. Add to your set of equipment over time when you realize that you need something to improve your work, and develop your own style. So you don't have to copy or follow all of the rules that we're going to talk about, but it's good to know the rules so that you can break them intelligently. So on we go, back to the basics. Get your phone ready and your other gear. So you already know what you're going to say, because like Julie's told you, you've planned your content a little bit, you know, the purpose and what you're going to do with it. Use the best phone you have. Newer phones are significantly better than old phones. I can tell you that. I'm a cheapskate who'll keep the oldest phone for as long as possible, but when I upgrade, it makes a world of difference. And the better cameras that they have now can actually even compensate for bad lighting or other difficulties sometimes. So make sure your battery is charged. Make sure you've got memory for your video. Like, it's so basic, but don't have your phone already filled up with your own videos and then you can't fit another half an hour of footage on there, because video files are really big. And put it on airplane mode so it doesn't ring mid-film. I pack all my accessories, all of them, because you never know what you'll need. And I have a laptop bag type thing with all sorts of junk in it. And I just take it all in case I need it. Because while we are just using a phone, there is quite a range of gadgets out there that can enhance things. So I'm going to show you a video I took of an emerging bee, and I just used it with it. I just put a cheap little macro lens, clipped it onto my phone. So I'll just play this little boy for you. We're also filming bee larvae, which are like 2 millimeters long. So I wouldn't have been able to film this with just the iPhone. Spending a little bit of money, or in fact, I think the macro lens was a freebie from a project of some sort, giveaway. Toys like that can give you like whole other worlds of possibility in what you're making. On to the practicalities. Think about what you're going to shoot. Like Julie said, think about where it's going to be published. So should it be landscape or portrait, which is another way of saying horizontal or vertical? Is it going to be a quick vertical video that you'll just put on an Instagram story or a TikTok video? Or is it going to be something landscape for YouTube? So there are actually different formats for different social media platforms, because that's how people look at them. Do you want to use a tripod and keep it nice and steady, or don't mind having a bit of wobbly camera action? Are you going to want to add titles? Because I often add titles, like I'll often put the name of a course or the name of the person in the bottom left-hand corner. So the black spot here represents somebody's head. And if you have the title kind of overlapping them a little bit, I find that unsightly. So I often put the person slightly to one side and then leave space on the other side for the title to be added later. So just thinking about that ahead before you go ahead. So just basically don't launch in with all your enthusiasm and then realize when you go to publish it that you should have done it slightly or completely differently, and it's a little bit awkward. Next thing I want you to do is to observe your environment. So will there be any loud noises or distractions, like a truck driving past? Is there going to be wind? Because a strong breeze equals a loud roar in a phone. Will there be squinting into the sun, or will you end up with a silhouette with the sun behind you? Are hats or other shadows obscuring faces? Does the background, this is a good one, does the background give helpful context, or is it actually distracting? Yeah, just a good way to be aware of what you're putting on screen for people. I'm going to talk about filming yourself and then talk about filming others, because it's a different kettle of fish. If you're filming yourself, what I mean by it is this, pointing the camera at yourself and talking to the camera. The real camera is slightly better than the selfie camera. So I mean, this camera on the back of the film, back of the phone, is a little bit better quality than the little tiny camera on the screen of the phone. It's not a huge difference, but it is a difference. So it's a toss up. The benefit though of using the front camera is that you can use the screen to check your framing, and that's really, really helpful. So yeah, it's not a rule, but it's a toss up. And if you want to have slightly better quality, you'd want to set up a tripod, arrange your shot and all of that. Holding the phone in your hands is good enough for the rough and ready look. But you can't get very far away depending how long your arm is. And obviously you can't use both your hands to demonstrate things, but it's convenient and people are accepting of it. A tripod holds the camera still, and you can use both hands, and you can use the better camera. So this is a Gorilla Pod. I'll show you one on the screen as well, it'll be a bit clearer. You clip your phone into it in this bracket, and then you can rest it on the roof of your car, you can wrap around a tree branch, anything like that. It's very portable and practical. So it's something that I have in my bag, my kit to take with me, because it's just in case. And basically when you're filming yourself, you just have to take some test videos to make sure that you've set your shot up well and you're standing in the right place. Film yourself, watch it back and check that you were in shot. So with the one Julie showed you before of the beekeeper, he would have set his camera up, put the bee box there, gone and done a little test, come back, looked at it, made sure that he was in shot and everything was clear. And now I'll talk about filming others. Some people can talk easily to a crowd, but they will get nervous in front of a camera. Some people are afraid of both, but my nerves about cameras make me giggle. I just feel silly talking to a camera. I don't know, I'll get nervous talking to people, but I'll feel silly talking to a camera. If someone is nervous and stiff, or they giggle a lot, or they want to read notes, which I don't advise, the best thing is to just give them a lot of time and film a lot of takes and just let them get comfortable. So in the worst case, because I am happy to do some editing, I'm happy to sit at a computer all day and do that, I tell people if they need to say a line into the camera and then stop and think, get their thoughts in order, and then say another line into the camera, that's okay, because I'll snip out the wasted space in between. Or if they need to do it 10 times to get it out right, that's okay too. But reading notes just doesn't look good. You actually do need direct eye contact into the camera, makes a huge difference with the connection between the speaker and the viewer. So basically, I don't think there's any need to be perfect first time, first take. Just let people take their time, let them get used to it, let them get comfortable, and you'll probably get a better video at the end of the day if you do that instead of rushing them, forcing them, they want to read notes, blah, blah, blah. Also, adapt your filming to the person on camera. So do they use their hands and they gesture when they speak? You can be further back to capture that, or do they look stiff and posed? You might want to zoom in more on their face. The next topic is sound, and sound is a huge topic actually. You think videos are about pictures, but I'd say at least half of it is sound. I think Julie told me yesterday, they'll tolerate dodgy pictures if they can hear the content, if they can hear the sound. But if the sound is bad, it's too frustrating. So I'm going to play you this video I took on a windy day. Hope you can hear that. So the static roar just makes the video unusable. So even a breeze will create a whomping noise through a phone microphone, and you can't fix it with editing later. So if you go with phone sound, you will be a bit limited by conditions, by weather conditions. A windy day will destroy the audio, but if you have good conditions, you can film outdoors with just good enough quality on your phone. So give it a go, but then check if you can hear wind or it's clear. If you want to level up, I'll talk about some microphones. So we've got the basic lapel microphone. It is a great investment to improve sound. The tiny sponge on that microphone doesn't block out all strong wind, and you have to be within 1 meter of the camera because that's how long the cord is. But it does work well for one person in most conditions. An alternative to that is this one that clips onto your phone, and you pop this fluffy thing over it, and that blocks out the wind. That's a windshield. It allows you to be a bit further away than the 1 meter lapel mic. It isn't clipped onto anyone with a wire, so it can be suitable for interviews because you can pick up both people speaking. I'll just show you, I've got it with me. It used to be my favorite thing. So it plugs into the charger on the iPhone, like that. Oh, the case is getting in the way. Like that. You can plug headphones into the back of it. It's got a little hole so you can actually hear the audio that's being picked up. And that's actually, I find it less intimidating to point this at people than it is to clip a lapel mic onto someone, because this is on me, not on them. So that's a helpful thing to consider. This used to be my favorite toy. I had issues when I was filming bees, however, because I wanted to be further away, because it's still, you do need to be relatively close to the person within a couple of meters to pick up the sound properly. All microphones really are better if you're very close to them. But with the bees, I wanted to be further away, and that meant it wasn't really picking up the sound as good as I wanted to. And then also bees kept landing on it and getting tangled in the fluff, and it was just bzzz right in the video. So I decided to invest in the next level up of sound technology, which is the wireless lapel mic. And this is a great investment. It is a couple of $100. And it is a lot of fiddling to get working. I will show you this in some detail, just in case you do want to leap straight to this, because it is super useful. It runs on its own batteries. So that's another thing to check, that it's charged and ready to go. One of these pieces is a little microphone, and the other piece is a receiver that plugs into your phone. So you can use the built-in microphone, or you can plug a lapel mic into it as well for a bit more of a hidden look. And then the wireless receiver, picks it up. So it means you can be close or far away, and the sound will stay consistently clear at the same level. So it's super, super useful. So this is how the setup actually looks when I'm using it. So I like to use the lapel mic, so I can pop it in someone's back pocket and then run this up through their shirt and clip that up to their collar, and it's really subtle. But other times I've just popped that in someone's top pocket. And then the receiver plugs into the phone. You might notice that there are actually several adapters here. And I will explain this too. Sorry if it gets overwhelming. It's just that nobody tells you this until you've made a mistake and the sound doesn't work. So there is, these two audio pins look the same, little headphone jack things. They look the same, they're the same size, and they will plug into the same size hole. But the important thing to notice is that one of them has 3 stripes on it and one of them has 2 stripes on it. The 3 stripes here is for plugging into a phone. So this lapel mic is designed to plug into a phone, but this 2 stripe pin is designed to plug into a camera. So if I wanted to, what I found was when I tried to plug my lapel mic into a camera, not a phone, it didn't work. And the wireless microphone is like a camera. So you just need a whole string of adapters to get it to work. But it is excellent once you do this. I actually learned about all of the adapters from a YouTube video. So there you go. Bit of micro learning, bit of video learning. You don't have to go and buy all of this stuff. It's just good to know what is out there in case you have issues, and then you can solve them. So it's good to know what's out there. So now we're thoroughly sick of technology and we're overwhelmed by gadgets. We are almost ready to film video. We're going to talk some creative artistic stuff now. I'm going to show you a pile of examples to explore framing. There aren't many rules, but the rule of thirds is a rule. Draw an imaginary line in a 3x3 grid and try and put important things on those lines or where the lines cross. So for example, this yellow dot would be the sweet spot or the golden mean perhaps. That's the rule of thirds. Don't worry about that. It's not going to be a bad video if you don't line things up on this grid. But just think, put heads closer to the top on that top line if you can, and then put people a bit closer to the side, then straight in the center. I think the worst thing you can do is have someone's head in the bottom half of the shot and then have a lot of empty space above them, because that looks awkward. Also because captions, subtitles and accessibility captions and titles that you might edit in, they will go in the bottom of the screen. So try and leave them clear space at the bottom. The rest of it's about choices. So you might want to frame in close to the head and shoulders, or you might want to be further out and capture the hand gestures. You can center the subject, or you can put someone to one side. The full front and center is the power stance, basically. So think about the president of the United States or the host of the current affairs. They will be smack in the center and they'll be looking directly into the camera. Being a bit to the side softens the shot, so that's a choice. You can put someone to one side and then show some relevant scenery behind them, give some context, for example, their crop or their machine, in that sort of open space to the side. Use that to show extra information. A good exercise I would suggest is to watch the news or watch MasterChef or watch anything on TV and see how the professionals are framing shots. It's very consistent. There's a range of things they're doing, and I'll show you some now. So this is Andrew Probyn at Parliament House. This is like fairly far out because his hands are in the shot, and there's plenty of background context to show you what's behind him that tell you where he is and what he's talking about. Also notice that he is slightly to one side, so he's not smack lined up on the line of thirds, but he's like his head is close to the top and he's a little bit to the side. So that would be the sweet spot, and he's pretty close to it. This reporter is closer in, I reckon, because she's holding notes, so they've cropped them out, so they're a little bit closer in on her. She's in the center. I think it's a little bit less attractive being in the center, but it is a very serious news story, so she's taking that very serious, front and center position. Pardon me. This is a reporter who's they've zoomed fairly far out on her, so all the way down to the barn, to show not just her hands, but also plenty of context background behind her with the play equipment. The story is probably about childcare. This is zoomed right in. So I think why they've done this is because this is a press conference. The background is distracting. There are probably camera people behind him, it looks like. They're probably standing very close to him. So they've gone for zoom in on his face because he's talking about something important. Another thing that I would point out here is that he's not speaking directly into the camera. So probably because there's lots of cameras around, he isn't talking to any one camera, he's just speaking generally. So he's therefore speaking off to the side of the shot. And a thing to notice here is that the open space is in front of him. And this is how it looks if the open space is behind him. So I just want you to notice that this looks a bit awkward because he's about to walk off screen kind of thing. Whereas here, him standing towards the side of the back of the shot, speaking into the open space in front of him is better. That's kind of a rule to be aware of. But people break the rules all the time. If you watch BBC dramas, they'll be doing this all the time. And this is to show you how the rule of thirds works when someone's, you've zoomed in. So his head is on that vertical third line and his head is on the top third line. This is just another shot to show you that when they've zoomed in on someone who's speaking off camera, they've got the open space in front of him from the other side. This is a shot showing you, they're really showing the context. So this is a farmer on the farm and there's the farm machinery and the hay bales. So they're zoomed out a little bit. It's not super close in on the face, but it's not super far out because he's probably not gesturing. He's just standing there with his hands in his pockets. And look at that. He's like perfectly on the corner of the rule of thirds. So well done. But I think it's just a nice shot because the background is interesting and they've actually shown that. They've left space to show the background. It's really helpful. They also showed him talking about the mice, I think. And this shot I included because it was very interesting. They started at the top of the building and then they slowly panned down and suddenly her head appeared in the bottom and floated up. And I wanted to show you this because and then eventually ended up like this. So it started at the top, worked down and then ended up like that. And I want to show you this is how awkward it looks like when someone's head is at the bottom of the shot compared to when someone's head is at the top of the shot. It just looks silly, but that looks good. The limit of what I've shown you is that all of these people are being professional, serious news people, and don't absorb all that and then think that you need to recreate that. So this is what I got when I pointed my phone at Costa. He got right up close and he waved his arms around and he moved. So if you or your subject that you're filming has that kind of energy, use it, and don't force everything to be formal and stand on this line and this is where the yellow dot is in my mind and the rule of thirds. Just use the energy that they've got and work with that. Some more quality tips. Avoid moving unless you are chasing someone like Costa. Wobbly zooms, wobbly tracking shots, they do look amateurish. So sometimes you have to follow something. Hold your phone still, brace your elbows on your body or fix it in a tripod, or if you do have to move, try and be really smooth. My next purchase, I think, will be a gimbal, which is sort of an arm that you put your phone in and it just makes tracking smoother. And I would say never zoom, never, as you're filming, zoom in on the shot. It doesn't really zoom, it just makes it closer, but in a more pixely way. So it's not good quality and it's very awkward to do smoothly. So I'd say don't zoom. Another important quality tip is to check. It's important to watch and listen to your video straight after you film. So the camera sees things differently to your eyes and hears things differently to your ears. A background noise that you tune out in real life might actually be very loud and distracting in a video. You don't know what you're actually recording. You won't hear that windy raw noise unless you watch it back with the volume up or have some headphones on. So I actually started to get clicking noises on my old phone. This is my old cheapy one, because the port here was getting faulty, I think. So started making a ticking noise. So after you film, plug in some headphones and play your video and watch and listen really, really carefully. Can you see and hear everything that you expect to? And are you happy with the quality? And a little extra creativity for you would be to shoot some extra footage, or B-roll, I think that's what they call it in the movies, video which can be edited in to create context or atmosphere, like crowd shots, machinery doing things, close-ups of demonstrations of hands or whatever. You might want to show what is being talked about, but not move your camera around the whole time from the person who's talking to the other things and back around. So you film the person talking and then you film the close-ups of them doing something, and then you kind of edit them together with cut back and forth. It's not essential to shoot extra video and edit it in, but it's a way to level up the end result and have a high quality if you're willing to put the time in, rather than move the camera around and go wobbly. Try and catch everything all in one take. So that's pretty much all I wanted to run through. Now I'm going to show you some videos. I've got about 5 or maybe 6 short videos, only about 30 seconds long. So if you've got the chat window open, I would like you to type in your observations as we watch. Can we open the chat window again? I've got my chat window open. So if you are watching along and you want to comment, oh, this is good or this isn't good, I think the background is funny, the sunlight or the shade, the sound, how the person is speaking, anything like that, yeah, just pop it in the chat, and at the end of the 30-second, I'll just share some reflections of my own, or if anyone else has written any. So what's working, what isn't working? Here we go.
All right, welcome to Farm Business Fundamentals Online. Farm Business Fundamentals has been developed by the dairy industry to help you understand your business and to be able to communicate its position, particularly to your own team, but also to others outside the business, like your accountant and banker. It looks at ways to handle the physical and financial aspect of your business. The modules are designed...
Yep, that's all we've got to work with. So, yep, I think that's the 2 main points. I think the framing is good. Exactly the background sounds. Also, although cows are a very nice background, like very appropriate background, if one of them goes to the toilet, that actually does become distracting. You can never predict what animals will do, but I think just because they're walking to get milked, it's kind of nice, provides a nice thing. But yes, there is mooing. I actually agree the reading notes is quite distracting. she keeps looking off, looking at her dot point, then she talks, and then she checks her dot point, and then she talks. And yeah, that is a downside of this video. But yes, I put a bit to, this is mine. I put a bit to the side. It's also, we were standing in the shade because that's where the laneway was that we could stand in, but then it was sunny behind. So it means that it's kind of a bit blown out and glowy in the background, a bit dark and shady in her face. But I think the newer phones, because this is 2019, so newer phones would compensate for that really well. I will go to the next video.
As we move to better seasonal conditions, I wanted to outline for you how we can assist you and your business capitalise on these opportunities as a producer.
Yeah, pretty much. The sunlight was really strong and it was a really windy day. We did not have good conditions for this video. He really wanted to be on the dairy with the centre pivot in the background. So that was the choice we made. It's going to be outside, it's going to be terrible, but it's going to have a good background. He's on the farm, he's talking about farm things. And you'll notice the wind sound is quite bad, even though he has the lapel mic. You can see it there. This little sponge is not strong enough to block out the wind noise, but because it is close to him, it means that when he talks, the wind noise is sort of put to the background a little bit. So I think it's still doing something, but yeah, it was just a super windy day. And if you have the choice, you would not do this, but we're talking about, making video in the moment and capturing things. So on to the next one. Thanks for your comments, everyone.
I'm here with Kate Hand, who runs a dairy business with her husband up on the north coast of New South Wales near Kempsey. Kate, you did the Farm Business Fundamentals course, the 2-day workshop last year. Can you tell me sort of some of the things in that course that were of value to you and some of the things that you've used in your business since then?
Yeah, Sheena, the main thing was the Dairy Australia Chart of Accounts, which is just a really organised way to manage all your expenses and income, so it comes out in a really clear report.
Yeah, exactly right. The bird noises, they're there, but they're not too bad. It is so much better that she is not reading from notes. And I actually should mention that I didn't do this video. This video was done by a dairy officer from DPI, so, perfect amateur work. And it's a really good example. She just used the phone. She didn't have any microphones plugged in. She did a really good job of interviewing 2 people. Found a good spot that's pretty quiet, just used the phone, held the camera really still, got them to stand really close together so that it's a nice intimate shot, because people would generally probably leave more space between them if they were talking, but on the camera, it's better to have them a bit closer together. And yeah, Sheena's not reading notes. What do you mean by lack of focus, Tim?
Just the photography, I was thinking. Like I said, the image looks a bit blurry to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I don't think it is.
That may just be the transmission through Zoom, Tim.
Yeah.
Sure.
Could just be the internet.
Yep.
I think it's all right. But thank you. And I'll do Costa, so because he was just so different.
All right. Biosecurity. That sounds a bit high-tech and institutional. What's that got to do with me? Well, don't be afraid of a word. Really, we've got to break down words and sentences and ideas and just go, hang on, what does this really mean to me? And what does biosecurity mean on the ground? It means that everywhere we go, wherever it is, we become like these transporters of things through the wheel.
I don't think that he does anything wrong, personally. I think the only problem there is my microphone going tick, tick, tick really softly. I think people who film him and direct him professionally have probably a lot of, have to advise him. He's always standing on things. I don't even ever notice this. He was always balancing on a log or something. Maybe that's how they get him to stand back a little bit, but he was great. So I think this one. Hi. So this, because I've had some really risky situations, I decided this was going to be a very careful production. So she's got the wireless radio mic in her pocket. We went into a barn so that there was no strong sunlight, no wind. I used a tripod. So basically this is the Rolls Royce of shooting on the phone for me, like very much in control of the situation. It was the first time that I used the wireless mic, and we did have some issues sorting out the decibel settings and what have you, but it was still all right. So have a look at this one. Okay, this is a warre hive. Now, a warre hive is sometimes referred to as a form of natural beekeeping. And the reason they say that is because the bees build their own comb within the hive instead of drawing out wax foundation. So these hives don't use wax foundation. They're quite a different setup to a standard Langstroth hive, which we've looked at previously. So they have this very complicated gabled roof. Basically, this roof is designed for insulation. So you can see when I take it off, it's got a big solid area inside, and insulation is usually added inside that box to keep. Yep. So I was aiming for having plenty of room for her to move things around and show different hives, and I wanted good control. But she's also very good. I have to say she is a really good subject because she can just speak off the cuff in great detail, super interesting. Yes, we didn't think enough about the table. I agree. That was something when we got there, we were like, oh, what are we going to use for a table? There's always something you don't think about. And we were limited in the shot that we could set up by table. If we'd had a higher table, we could have been zoomed in a little bit closer. So yeah, good pickup. I've got one more video, and this was done by a true amateur, and there is a lot to see and think about. I'll show you the whole thing. It might go for about 2 minutes. The content is really good and the video is usable. I did some editing to work around things, and there were 2 takes to work with. So this is just one of the takes. But this video was filmed by someone in her 70s. So, while it's good, there are plenty of things to reflect on. So I'll let you watch it and type.
I'm David Marsh. I'm a farmer at Burrawa down in the southwest slopes of New South Wales, and we're talking about some of the species that are very useful, but they've disappeared out of this district for maybe 100 years because of the way livestock have been managed, where livestock have been grazed for long periods of time on the one piece of land. We're now moving our animals around. We've got 100 paddocks. Bit over 100 paddocks. At the moment we're moving our animals daily. We've got 600 cattle. The farm's 800 hectares. We used to mainly have cool season growing annuals and perennial grasses that grew in the cool months. Now we've introduced some, this is one of the species, it's a native growing C4 species, and just mind your finger, Jenny. And so this grass is a C4, so it grows in the summer. We get half our rainfall in the summer. The rainfall at Burrawa is evenly spaced, 50 mils a month over 120 years, but around that, incredible variability. So this plant, when it gets wet in the warm months, it produces a massive amount of feed very quickly. It seeds very quickly, and we're often grazing this grass when it's got seed on it. So it'll go through the cattle unharmed, and it'll come up in other seasons. So we've been getting a bit of a mixture of seed from Colin Syce up at Gulgong. This is one of the species in that mix. The other one's a thing called arm grass, which is a type of native millet. And the third one of the mix is a thing called Chloris truncata, which is the umbrella grass. They're all perennial grasses. They all grow in summer. So when we get rain in summer, we're very happy because these grasses can take advantage of it, and they produce a lot of feed very quickly. And they go to seed, and the seed comes up. They spread their own seed. The umbrella grass rolls across the country, and it spreads its own seed. These ones go through the cattle, and they're very quickly. What I've been doing is spreading it myself. I just have a bucket of seed on the bike. As I'm going around, I'll do strips, just let it dribble out of my hand, and it probably do these strips about 30 metres apart, and they come up very quickly, and within a couple of years they've got seed on them, and the cattle are spreading the seed, and it's amazing to me how quickly they're covering the country. So it's a very cheap thing. You don't need any machinery. You can sow it through a disc seeder, but you don't need to. It's very expensive seed, so you don't want to be sowing whole paddocks of it, but you can establish it by...
Yep. So she did a lot of things right. So she got him outside into the farm, great context. He's got the grass in his hand. He's prepared about what he's going to say, but it is distracting to have the camera floating from side to side. If she just held it still and focused on him the whole time, and then after he's finished talking, film the grass in his hand, and then film the grass over there, that would have been quite easy to snip together, as I spent about 5 times or 10 times as long as that trying to remove the walking around, the camera drifting around. So, yeah. I think I'm going to hand back to Julie now. And I think we're going to answer any questions that you might have. And this is where you get your break and all of that. So I will stop sharing.
Okay, everybody. Well, we've just smashed you with a whole lot of information. And hopefully you found those examples in particular useful. And Jess and I, between us, could probably go for the rest of the afternoon showing you examples of what not to do. So part of what we're trying to do here today is share what we've learned with you through trial and error. So before we get you to go and give it a go, I'll just open up if anyone's got any questions first.
Hello, hats and sunglasses.
Yeah. Yep, sunglasses. Yeah, that's worth mentioning. I was trying to get people to take their sunglasses off.
Yeah, yeah. It's not always easy to get you, if your subject matter is a farmer, it's not always easy to get them to take their hat off. Yeah, so it is, you do need to think about that eye contact part, especially with sunglasses. That's what you lose, that sense that someone is speaking to you, which is what you're trying to get across with
I think
video.
The main issue with hats is the shade that they sometimes cast across the face, and then you just have the hat, black area, and then bottom of the face that you can see with the sun on it. I think now that I've sorted out most of my sound problems, I would love to sort out the sun problem, because the problem of strong sunlight is the next one to fix, and I don't know what to do about it.
I don't know if this is helpful for anybody, but in a previous workshop that we've done, we had Simone Smith, who ran some media workshops with us a couple of weeks ago. And I can't recall if she covered it in the last one, but she did mention, I think in a previous workshop series that we did last year, she actually uses sometimes when she's out in the paddock, like the bonnet of a ute or a mirror somewhere, like a side mirror or something, to sort of reflect light back into the subject's face. So that works well, obviously, for photos when it's just one off. I don't know how well that will work for a video. The other thing she also mentioned that she does sometimes is, if she's sort of organised enough, is she actually just covers a piece of cardboard with some alfoil and just has it in the back of her car that she takes around with her. So that might be something that works too, especially if your subject is maybe wanting to wear their hat, but you sort of need to reflect the light back up into their face.
Are there any sort of particular phone settings you need to use, or you just use the default camera settings? Mine's an Android, so just use the default settings on the phone.
I don't have an Android phone, but I believe in iPhones and probably Android as well. Sometimes if you go into settings, you do have options to say how big the file size and that sort of thing. And for the most flexibility, set it to the biggest file size. Like, this isn't just on the camera screen, like when you've got the camera open. This is where you have to go into the settings themselves and set what video you're recording at. So the toss up is, if you have very small video size, you can take heaps and heaps of videos, but they will not be as useful as if you have very big file sizes, but then you are limited to the memory on your phone. So you have to make sure you're getting the videos off your phone to keep the space freed up. Does that help? Is that the answer?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So I don't know where the settings are, but there will be a setting somewhere.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions from anyone else? If so, just unmute yourself or pop your hand up. We'll come to you.
Just sort of what's the indicative costs of all the gadgets, I guess. Like how you know, what are we talking in terms of some of the you know, like the microphones and things like that, or and is a selfie stick useful? Because I've seen you know plenty of people that use selfie sticks and things like that. Yeah.
Buy whatever you want to use. I don't have a selfie stick, but we might show you a video at the end where someone is using a selfie stick with maybe a GoPro or something like that. So basically, you don't have to go out and buy all the things, but be aware of what's out there and then buy what fills the gap that you need. So this basic lapel mic from the brand, all the microphones that I have is Rode, R-O-D-E. And they're good, whereas you can get cheaper ones and they don't sound as good. You do get what you pay for with microphones. And this lapel mic is about $90, I think, at the moment. Then this fluffy one was more like maybe 150, something like that. And then the radio mic is something like $200 or $300. So they are an investment, and that doesn't include the lapel mic. So the lapel mic bought separately and then added the radio part later. These Gorilla Pods, I think they're about $40, $50. And then you have to buy this bracket because they're made actually for cameras to screw onto. You have to buy this bracket separately. So I think this outfit ends up costing like $55 from memory. Yeah. Or you can, if you have a normal camera tripod, you can just buy this bracket and then screw that onto your existing camera tripod if you've got one. So this is a phone bracket that screws onto any tripod and comes separately.
And the audio is really...
Jeff or Julie?
Sorry, I was just going to say the audio is really worth investing in. Better ways to collect your sound are probably going to be the main factors that influence the quality of your output. You can imitate a tripod in different ways, rest your phone on things, but the sound is the sound. So, yeah.
So,
sorry,
like we showed you before, the video of the two women talking about dairy, there was no microphones there, but you could still hear the birds because it was sort of all the environmental sound and the microphones getting closer to the talking.
Sorry, Julie. Yeah, just wanting to ask about lenses. So you mentioned your macro lens before, Jess. So like costing of that. But also, you know, you often see like the fishbowl lens kind of look so that you can get a wider view. Have you used any of those, and what's your experience with them?
I actually got these free from work, but I don't think they're very expensive. So we are currently giving them away with the Peri-Urban Environmental Biosecurity Network, one of our communities of practice. So we're giving them away as promos, the way people give away USBs and mouse pads. So I don't think they're very expensive.
You have to do a survey first, though.
You have to do a survey, that's it. We're giving them away at the field days. And then it's just sort of like, it's like a peg and it clips over the lens. And one's a macro, one's a fisheye or something. And the macro one is just so useful for filming bugs or up close. And I have looked at them online. I don't think they're more than $30 or something like that. So, yeah.
So the macro one is really, really good. I've fiddled around with the fisheye, and the wider one is quite useful. But I don't. It's one of those things that you just really experiment with, and it gives you just a little bit more to play with.
Claire's very
Claire's keen for the survey.
Follow the Peri-Urban Biosecurity Network on Facebook.
Well, the beautiful thing about them is they're so small that you can just, and the same with the microphone. Like there was a stage where I just carried a microphone and the little macro with me everywhere I went.
Just like that.
So that's the beauty of it, is it's so portable that you can literally just take it anywhere with you. You kit with you.
And then you
can even get tripods that end up this big. So I used to carry a tripod as well.
Yeah, collapse down really small.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions from anyone? Looks like no. So Julie, I'll hand to you, and I think we're going to do some
you are. That's right. So the idea here is that we want you to go away and have a go at applying some of the things we just stepped through. And in particular, Jewel, that's me, Jess's rule of thirds can make a real difference to how comfortable that video is for people to watch. Or how you saw with Costa and the up close, the difference in the whole way that message can be delivered. So we want you to just go and have a bit of an experiment, whether you film yourself, so you have a go at doing a selfie yourself. Can you hear the birds coming over? Or you can, if you have an innocent bystander that you want to corral, so you want to practice interviewing somebody else, because that's another art in itself, and that is convincing someone to be the subject matter in your video and briefing them on what you want them to talk about. So however you want to do it, but we just want you to have a little go, and then we'll come back, give you a break, come back and just have a bit of a discussion about how you went and do some troubleshooting as well. So just remembering the framing of your shot, thinking about where you are. Is there anything in the background that's actually going to end up being distracting, like, accidentally shooting someone with a stick coming out their head, things like that, or too much up the nose. Like, just think about how you're framing your shot, think about your sound, and then try to just have a practice at communicating a key point.
I think we've got 40 minutes to go, in theory, before this ends, and I've got
sound right?
I've got about 10 minutes of information to in.
So what time, how long do we all want to have? 15, 20 minutes? Does that sound long enough?
I think 20 minutes is good, Julie, if that's okay with everybody. Gives you time to grab a quick coffee, do a quick film. So 3:50 back here at 20 to 4. Is that right for you guys in South Australia? Am I doing my maths correctly? 20 minutes time, we will meet you back here. You can leave your cameras and everything open on here if you like, or just stay logged in, turn your camera off and mute yourself, and just come back, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes.
And when you come back, Jess will finish off by giving you a crash course in editing.
I'll show you I'll tell you some software that there is.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone. Anna, would you mind just pausing the recording, and then you can just press play again or press record again when we come back. So don't press stop, just press pause. Beautiful, thank you.
Took for my work.
Mm-hmm.
I've done those before.
You've done those? That wobbling
that looked
is probably me holding the camera now rather than the wobble.
Yeah, I thought that looked pretty good.
So when I can find it in the computer, I'll send it off to our tech lady who puts it up on the Facebook and social media.
Yeah. Okay, so did we have anyone else that wanted to share?
Paris, did you manage to grab a video?
Again? Right. Yeah,
I got B-roll. Oh, sorry, Elkie. You go.
No, you go. You go.
I was just going to say I got the B-roll as well. No one here, but I've got the puppy.
Oh.
But I did have to take everything into consideration because I had a dog in the kennel next door moving the food bowl around, and then they all started barking and carrying on. So, yeah, I still had to think about everything else.
Good. That's good. Yeah.
Such painful subjects, Paris.
Yep,
Okay.
I did a couple, just like I did a one. I filmed my husband being Dan the Chook Man with demonstrating a chook, and then another one I tried to do a selfie one. I'll just do the you want me to show you that's the, oopsie.
Today we're going to talk about chickens. If you wish to have your own backyard chicken, you need a caravan with self-feeder and self-water and obviously chooks.
That is great.
I think I got the chickens. And then I tried to do a selfie, oopsie, with my very is looking swollen udder. It's quite sore to touch. See how she's kicking?
That's not too bad either.
And then she walked in front of me.
Yeah. Well, this is the trouble when you've got livestock involved.
Yeah.
You never know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So did you set that shot up yourself and then hop into it? Or?
Yeah. So I put it on I hung it on the gate. So I just shoved it on the gate.
Yep.
And just to see if it would work, because I've never done that before. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, because I could. Oh, your head's a little bit cropped off, but that's probably because it's your attempt to set it up, and good.
Yeah, I think I'd need to edit. Yeah,
showing the important thing, which is the sheep, I suppose.
Okay. Did anybody else want to? Tim, how did you go?
Well, I did one. It's pretty boring, and I think I learned a few things. I don't think it's worth.
Okay, no, that's right.
Well,
right.
Yeah. I was trying to demonstrate a plate meter, and actually the sound. I thought the sound had come through automatically, but it didn't. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Sure what to do there. I'll have to. But then it did when I was huffing and puffing later. So anyway, I got it. That's me. I think I've got it.
It's amazing how many things go wrong in the pressure of the moment as well.
Yeah. But it's certainly given me. It's been what you guys have demoed has been really good. And
good.
Given me a bit of incentive. I think to go and do something. Yeah.
Yes. Have a go and you instantly apply. And realize, that's what they're talking about. Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Right, Fiona, just before we hand back to Jess, just a couple of quick things to mention. One is there are lots of different settings on your phone. I think Tim asked this question about, what settings should you have it on? There are lots of different settings, and it depends on the age of your phone as well. But if you go in and look in your settings tab, rather than in your video, actually go into your settings tab on your phone, you should see that, and you find the video settings, there's all kinds of different settings you can put in there. And in particular, you can set the quality of the video that you take, and there's a whole, I just had a quick look at my phone while we're on that break, and I had probably 8 or 10 different options I could choose from there. So you can change it depending on what you're planning to then do with that video. The other, just quick thing to mention as well is that the grid that Jess was showing before, you can turn that on your phone as well.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
To help you do that positioning. And it's a nice little add-on to just help you with your framing as well. So. Okay, so back to you, Jess. Wrap us up.
Yep, I have got that's very echoey. No, echo has stopped. All right, so I'm just going to run through what you do once you've got your video. Won't take too long. You can edit it and upload it directly to the internet, to YouTube or Facebook or any social media account on your phone. You don't have to take it to a computer first. I'll talk about editing it in a second. You can send it to your OneDrive, Google Drive or Dropbox and then download it to your computer. And if you're in the Mac ecosystem, you can airdrop it. And I love airdrop. Lost my spot. Click next. Okay, so editing. If you want to edit on your phone, for example, you can just open the video and crop off the start, the end, top and tail it, crop the mistakes off the start where you're getting organized, and it's good to go. You can also get video editing software to use on the phone. There's one called Adobe Rush, which is free on the phone. It does cost a subscription to use on the computer, but it's free on the phone. It's available on Apple and Android, I checked. So it's more complicated. It gives you more options to cut things into little clips, rearrange them, put your B-roll footage in, do some transitions between cut shots so that sort of blurs from one shot to the other, and put titles on and put some music on. So it gives you, like, I haven't used it because I prefer to do it on my computer with a bigger screen to work with. But if you don't have that, you're out and about. It's works on the iPad as well, I think. Yeah, it's a good place to do things. If you want to do it on the phone, do Adobe Rush. I prefer to edit on the computer, you know, bigger real estate to work with. I often, just for like little quick, easy jobs, I'll use the free program that comes on the Apple Mac, which is called iMovie. I think there's an equivalent on PCs called Video Editor. I checked on my colleague's computer, and it does the basics, you know, chop things up and move things around. The next level is you can pay for software. Oh, there's also other free software out there as well. But watch out for free trials, because sometimes they are a free trial, but then when you actually want to save the video that you've made, you have to pay money. So read a lot of reviews before you even use a free software. If you're going to pay for software, you can get the paid version of Adobe Rush, which is $15 a month subscription. And there's like the professional level one, Adobe Premiere Pro, which I haven't priced. It comes into, you can probably get it on its own. I probably wouldn't use it unless you're really getting very good at it. So look at the price later when you need it. So I'll show you what the video editing programs look like. Won't be sort of demonstrating one, but I just want to show you the layout. They have all got the same basic layout. So you have a timeline, usually at the bottom. And in this, you can see the picture part of the video on the top there, and then underneath that blue strip is the audio part of the video. So you can turn this audio down or up. This little purple bit on the top here is a title, which just says name of person. This is something that I started and didn't finish. You have a preview window in the top right here, and then you have in the top left, you have, it'll change depending what you click. So you might have all your video clips that you want to put in, all the audio clips like songs that you want to put in. The titles are currently what you can see here, the selection of titles that it just comes with free, you know, templates for titles and so on. So this one is iMovie, right? So this is the basic free one. This is Rush, which is the $15 a month one, or free on the phone. The phone looks different. I've had a look at it, but as I said, I haven't used it. And you can see it's a very similar layout. You've got timelines at the bottom. This is the drones testimonial video that Julie mentioned earlier. So this is the video of the young man speaking. I've cut it into a few different pieces. So this first piece is highlighted in orange here. And then I've clipped out some little bits, put them next to each other. There's a little audio track, very thin, but it's there, which is him talking, the blue line underneath his picture. Then this green audio track is music, bit of backing music I put in to make it seem more cool. But you've got to have that quite soft. I don't like the backing music to be overpowering the talking. So you sort of turn one down, turn one up when you add music. And your audio is always at the bottom, by the way. Your videos are in the middle, and then your titles are on top. So you can see here I've chopped up some other little bits of video. This is the B-roll video, drones flying, and there's our teacher instructing. Pop that on top. So he'll be talking, and then it will cut over to some footage of other things while he talks, and it will cut back to him keeping talking. And there's purple and maroon lines here are the titles. So one of them is the logo here, and the other one just says drones in agriculture there. So that, and down this side, you've got your library of video clips, which are not previewing properly, but the audio, the video, and other little bits of video in there, B-roll and everything. And then I will overwhelm you with, this is Premiere Pro. So again, it's the same basic concept. You've got your timeline at the bottom. It's just, you can do more with it. You've got your preview video here, and then you've just got a lot more controls around it. So that's what I don't use every time. I can use it. It's taken me a long time to start to learn to use it, but you know, I can can get in there when I need to. And for example, I used it for this video because I wanted to have one video sitting in the corner on top of another video. So showing two videos at the same time and overlaying them. So I would prefer this one. This is the easier one to use. Simpler interface, less overwhelming. An important thing to understand is that exporting is where you take all of those sort of timeline parts and you export it, bake it together into a single new video file. So exporting is like baking the cake. You can't open a video file and edit all those layers on the timeline again because they've been cooked together into one line. Like you can't unbake a cake. So if you want to fix a typo in a title or take the backing music out, you actually have to go back to the software and open the working files again, make your changes, and then export it to a new finished video. So that's just important concept there, because people have sometimes sent me videos and expected me to be able to pull parts out that have been cooked in. There's also, I'll put a link in the chat of where I get backing music. I'll put it in after I finish this, but there's some people who make music for soundtracks and YouTube videos and give them away for free, and you're not stealing it to use them, they give you permission. So I will share a link of just some useful little video music that I have found. So when it comes to publishing, and this includes the accessibility issue, I strongly recommend YouTube. So as Julie said, it's a powerful search engine for people to discover content. YouTube can create automatic subtitles or closed captions, which is great for accessibility. However, YouTube doesn't have a very good vocabulary for Australian towns or agricultural jargon. So ideally, whoever publishes the video to YouTube should manually check it and edit anything that's a mistake. Instagram stories now have a captioning function. So basically captioning is becoming expected, and not just from hearing impaired people, but some people just watch TV with the subtitles on so they can understand it better. And I think particularly with scientific content with a lot of acronyms and jargon, it probably helps a lot to have subtitles for unusual words. Some other random facts about sharing. So for example, Facebook, which doesn't have automatic captioning, you have to upload captioning separately as a separate file. So I don't bother. Yeah, the real stuff goes on YouTube. Oh, also, if you are uploading somewhere without captions, you can provide a transcript. So we often do that on our websites in some places, because it's such a lot of effort to create a captioning file and then upload it somewhere else. So just type it up into a Word document. So Facebook apparently prefers videos that are uploaded directly into Facebook over videos that are shared from YouTube. So Facebook and YouTube are enemy companies, and they will prefer their own content. So Facebook will share videos more that are uploaded into Facebook than when you share a link from YouTube. Facebook, when you upload, I've noticed they give you recommendations about how to maximize views. So they will say things like videos at least 3 minutes long perform better. But if I don't have 3 minutes, I'm not going to pad it out. It's just the video is the length that it is. But it's good to sort of know these things, that I would have thought short videos were better, but apparently people watch longer videos. It also tells you how many people have watched the whole video versus how many people have just watched 10 seconds. And an important point here is that in social media, you've got about 2 seconds before someone scrolls past. So it might be tempting to put a big 10-second opening title at the start of your video, of every video, but if it's boring, people won't watch the whole thing, and then they haven't watched any of your actual important content. So try and get straight to the hook and get straight into the content before they keep scrolling. But no pressure. You start with where you're at, and some is better than none, and you do the continuous improvement thing and you see what works and what doesn't work. One thought, I thought to finish would be good to watch. How long we got? We could finish up now, but I'll show you a few minutes of Mark Merritt, who hit the news last week, who's in The Project and the ABC, who's just another amateur video maker. He's a farmer. He's using a selfie stick and a GoPro, I think. But if you watch it for a couple of minutes, you'll notice how many different things he's doing with how little equipment. So probably he's doing handheld, he's doing fixed, he's doing selfie mode, and he's doing the back camera, he's doing some talking, he's doing a lot of showing. He's using time lapse, different angles, a whole mix of different footage from throughout his day, edited in with music that cuts in and out. He doesn't have much that he wants to say. He's pretty much just showing. So I think I have to, oops, that's PowerPoint. Let me open video.
Lambs! Lambs! Hey! What up, farm? How you going? Today we're gonna go and do some spraying, so yeah, let's go and get into it. So we've been spraying pre-emergence before the seeder, and now today we're going on to bug sprays and grass sprays. We'll get to the grass sprays later on. So now we're just finishing off a full tank rinse. So just rinsing her all out, making sure it's clean so that we don't spray out the next crop, because that would be very bad. Time to fill up. All done. Time to head to the paddock. Made it to the paddock. Just out here about to do the weather observation, and I was having a look at what's coming up. So we sowed some vetch. This is some stuff that didn't get under the ground. It's not coming up. But we also put Balanza clover in, and that's just poking through. And it's looking really good. So yeah, hopefully it goes all right.
I forgot to turn the subtitles on there until the end, but you can see actually sometimes it picks up pretty well and sometimes it just guesses what the words are and puts random words in. Yeah, so I was so impressed with the different things that he's doing. We actually look at what he's doing, like he's just having fun and, oh, what if I put the camera here? What if I put the camera there? What if I do some fast forward stuff? Yeah, he's just having fun. He's got, this video has 5,000 views in about the last week. So good on him. He's the classic amateur just having a go. And that's all I wanted to show you, to encourage you to do it. Have some fun.
Thanks, Jess. I think that's a really good advertisement for just going out and having a crack. I love those sorts of videos. They're really great. I was trawling YouTube last year and I found a really cool one of a tour of a Canadian dairy farm, and it was at a big barn. Fantastic. So go and Google it. You'll find it on YouTube somewhere, I'm sure. We're a little bit over, but Jess, I did just wonder, Steve just pointed out he's having trouble getting his video off his phone and onto his computer. I just wondered, are you or Julie just able to step out the process of how to do that, or how best to do that for us?
Can try. I use a Mac. That's just the problem. I don't know what people are doing on PCs.
Yeah.
I have always found that the easiest way to do it when it's on your phone is to do it by a file sharing service. So if you have Google Drive or you have Dropbox or something like that, I've always found that to be the easiest way to get it off your phone. If you plug it in, it's really, you've got to step through, depending on what kind of platform you're using, what sort of phone, what sort of computer, there's generally a few more steps. So yeah, that's been my experience, that it's the easiest way to do it is when you are connected to Wi-Fi, if you have decent Wi-Fi, and you use a file sharing service.
I've just discovered an app on my Windows phone. I only found it yesterday, that actually mirrors my phone on my computer. It's just fantastic.
Ah,
so
very good.
Yeah, so I can read all my messages on my computer, and I can compose messages and send them to my phone, but I can also download videos and photos from my phone at the same time. So it's really good. I would imagine it's probably a bit like that Apple. Apple have probably got something.
It's like it when things talk to each other easily.
It sounds like the AirDrop.
It does sound like AirDrop.
Yeah.
So Windows is sort of,
which is another very easy way to do it. If you do have a iPhone and a Mac, the AirDrop is another really easy way to do it. So it's just knowing where it's going, which I think is what Steve's having trouble with. It's going somewhere, he just doesn't know where. So it's more than likely in your download somewhere.
Right. That's right. Look, I've had it at times where it's worked beautifully, and then Windows or whoever sends a heap of upgrades to make it easier, and you can't find it anymore.
It goes somewhere else.
I mean, I ticked the box, download this video, which I did today to put it on there. It says it's downloaded successfully. You go into the video file, it's not there. I don't know where it is. It'll be in there somewhere.
Check your downloads folder.
Downloads, okay.
So the other thing you can do, Steve, and I do this sometimes if I can't find something on my computer either, if you're sending it from your phone to your computer, look at the file name on your phone, and you can actually just search on your computer, and it will show you, it will pick up any files that have got like those numbers in the file name or whatever. And that's really handy for finding things like if you can't remember where you saved them, or you've worked on a document 5 years ago and you don't really know where it is, or you're sending something you don't know where it's landing.
Okay, thanks.
Have we got any last questions for Jess and Julie while we've got them on the line? Looks like no. Well, Jess and Julie, thank you so much. It's been a fabulous couple of hours. I hope everybody's got as much out of it as I have. A big thank you again to the Limestone Coast Landscape Board for funding us for this session. Now, we do have a little poll for you all to fill in, and hopefully you may be seeing it on your screen now. I'll just launch it again.
Hey, could I do a super quick wrap up?
Please, yeah.
So just the key takeaway. Yeah, okay, that's right. So have a purpose. So give it some thought, think about it. Don't aim for perfection. So that can stop people, or you can end up taking twice as long because you're aiming for perfection. So don't aim for perfection. Think about the 3 S's: shot, sound, stable. So just try and put that in the back of your mind, those 3 S's, and experiment. So just have a play, have a muck around, see what works, what doesn't, and you might discover something that's really new that you really like and your audience really likes. So just have a bit of a play and always keep looking for something new to add to them as well. So have a purpose, don't aim for perfection, and remember the 3 S's. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Thanks, Julie. We're all giving you a virtual round of applause. Thank you so much. It's a bit hard to do that on screen, but thank you. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's fine.
So thanks again, everybody, for coming. I'm just going to relaunch this poll, and hopefully you will be able to see that on your screens. Can you just let me know if nothing's appeared?
It's there.
I can see it.
Beautiful. Thank you. So if you're able to just complete those 3 questions, please, that would be wonderful. Your feedback is very important to us. We like to make sure we're doing a good job, and your feedback also just helps us when we're planning events in future. If we need to run workshops like this again, and we get good reviews, then we will. So just a reminder to everybody about the offer for your microphone and tripod as being part of the workshop. A reminder to email me your expression of interest and first in best dressed, and we'll fix you up. If you get within the limit, we'll fix you up with a tripod and a microphone. And I think that's all I needed to tell you. Now, I can't see if anybody has completed the poll. Has everybody clicked submit at the bottom?
Yes, I've done.
Megan, are you getting those numbers counting on your screen?
We've got 7 of 9 people have completed it.
Wonderful. Yep. We've just, because Megan and I are both logged in under the same account, I'm having trouble seeing, we can't both see the same thing on the screen, which is a bit frustrating. But anyway, here we are. I'm just going to end that now. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Great to see you all. I hope you enjoyed our session, and we will see you all again soon.
Thank you.